Okay. I want to tell you,
This
man.
my
I went
mom
out of
cut.
town. I was
I want
going out
some.
the door.
I need something I can grab the handle on and drink real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hey,
I
look,
got
we
you.
on, we on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FMF Live. We back in the building. First off, before we get started, man, we got to shout out our boy Marquise back on
Yes,
again with us
indeed.
again, flexing with a strong flex. I see you. What we're gonna do, man? We're gonna get ready to jump right into it, man. We got a mindset video we're gonna kind of react on. So we got to get the Grandmaster Trey to give us his thoughts, and we're gonna share all of our thoughts. But whenever G ready, he'll pull up the video. But before we get started, man, down in the comment section, we gotta do the mental check, man. How's everybody doing? Are you doing
Yeah.
well? How you feeling? Any good news that happened, throw down in the comment section, man. We want to, support any positivity that's going on right now. So while we're getting that video up, we want to get some positivity and everything going. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
We're doing awesome. I want you looking at you on the screen. All we see is your mouth. So,
Yeah.
so
Yo, this happens every time, like
See, hey, Paul, I can see your head and everything, and shoulders and everything, but I don't know
yeah,
what it
that's
is.
from our perspective. It's
Okay,
on the actual video. It's cut
okay,
different,
okay. Am
and
I
all we
straight?
see is your head. Like you look like an embodiment of Jesus right now. Like you got the aura.
uh-huh.
Okay, I got you.
Because all you see is your head in like a shining white background. You know what I'm saying?
What about now?
All right, how about
Got it.
now?
Is it a holiday or not?
I don't know.
You
Is that
coming
something
in hot?
we going
You
into?
coming in hot? No,
That's a free day off for niggas. It's a free day off for niggas.
Y'all silly, bro. Y'all
there
always
we
starting it
go.
off, man.
Oh man.
Silly.
So
Hey
yeah,
Trey,
there
I'm
is.
straight now. I'm straight now, Trey. On the.
Let me see. Let me see. Now you're like from the nose down. You can't see nothing from like the nose down. So tilt your camera up just a little bit.
Alright, goddamn. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get a lap. I'm gonna invest in a laptop soon, so we ain't gotta go through this shit.
Is it a holiday or not? I've actually been looking into it because ever since July 4th is predicated on the freedom of the nation, and we know that that happened in 1776 when it was liberated from Great Britain. We still didn't have our people free, so Juneteenth to us is the actual, and not to us, but the actual freedom of the nation when all people were free is Juneteenth in 1865. But um, it goes deeper. So I wanted to have that discussion, but we're gonna say that for next year. We're gonna be more prepared for it.
Facts.
Stir the
Hey, I
pot.
ain't.
Shout out to
Hey, look, hey
Cardone.
man, shout out to us, man. We about to react to our own video, yo. That's what I'm talking about. We about to
Damn,
react
For
to our
real.
own video, and shout out Kwanton down in the comment section. He's a
Yeah,
prior guest that come on, and he got a show that he does on AMP as well too, man. Shout out to a guy that's been supporting us and been a guest as well, man. But let's
absolutely.
go ahead and react to our own video. This is kind of dope right here. I like this.
that's some real conceited shit right there, man.
Hey,
It is.
I love it. Big old energy.
All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and play on this jump. See what we think.
Teach the women don't teach us.
I did not interview men for the first 4 years of my study. And it wasn't until a man looked at me one day after a book signing and said, "I love what you have to say about shame. I'm curious why you didn't mention men." And I said, "I don't study men." And he said, "That's convenient." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you say to reach out, tell our story, be vulnerable.
Mm.
But you see those books you just signed for my wife and my 3 daughters?" I said, "Yeah. They'd rather me die on top of my white horse than watch me fall down." When we reach out and be vulnerable, we get the shit beat out of us. And don't tell me it's from the guys and the coaches and the dads. because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else.
I thought that was y'all video.
So I edited to bring in some perspective.
Okay.
So
Okay.
All right, Trey, go ahead, kick it off for us, Trey.
So
You got the mindset,
so
and matter of fact, anybody looking for mindset coaching, anything like that, man, Trey's the go-to guy. So that's why we got to start off with Trey. So go ahead, Trey.
exactly.
I
So
love
what's
it.
the question? I already put at the bottom, but let us know what it is.
Yeah. So who really teaches men how to be men? Who really teaches men how to be men? Who are we being? My question would be, who are we being men for? And like, what do we learn? Where do our experience come in as men the most? So if you was to ask me, I would say I learned more about being a man from my experience with women. So women teach men how to be men.
Go ahead. You want to elaborate, Trey, or you just throwing it out there?
Kind of
Yeah.
throwing it out there, and I want you all to chip in, let me know where y'all at, and then
Let me piggyback on what Trey just said. I get what you're saying, kind of, Trey. Like I would say, based on my experience, right, like being raised by a single mom, I when you're around a woman like that, you get to see the what's that word, inadequacies and whatnot in the home and whatnot, so you can see where you got to tighten up in the future. When you going through do the same thing. So I get what you're saying. So yeah, to an extent, we do learn from women, but I think ultimately you're going to go out there and learn from other men also for most of your shaping and your growth. Like you do have to have the men in there too.
so the phrase has been, the phrase has been only men can teach, only men can raise men.
I mean, when I was like looking at it now, like I wish I had more of a sphere of influence from a male figure when I was younger, because I still do ask myself like what I could have been here faster. I could have did this shit in my 20s instead of just doing it in my 30s. But I despite the circumstances, shit still went pretty well. So I can't say, oh, I'm can't say I'm inadequate due to the lack of a male figure in my life. So and
Absolutely.
but
I would say.
I do go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Keisha. Go ahead. My bad.
No, I will say, like, I do see examples, like when we went to G's father's house to shoot
Hmm.
the one episode. I saw that the effect like a father could have. I saw when we talked to his father. I was like, I could see why G is the way he is. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So I do like have examples like in looking at my friends' situations and their fathers and how they are, and I've been able to like take a little bit from that in my upbringing too.
All right, Paulie.
Yeah, I would say. I believe a woman can teach you the idea of what they feel like a man is.
Mm.
Um, it's certain things men go through that women don't go through, and vice versa. So it's hard for a woman to talk or walk a young man through certain things that they would never experience. Like for example, blue balls. Like I don't know, you know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
bro. It's
I
sitting
Yeah,
on
you
your
read my
nuts.
mind. You read my
You,
mind, Paul.
you
yo,
said
like
blue. You
blue, like
said
a
hold on.
woman
You
can't.
said blue balls.
Yes, blue
Blue
balls,
ball.
bro. Like a woman. I
Oh,
remember
blue balls.
the
Okay.
first time I got blue balls, I didn't know
Shout
what
out
the
to
hell
Ash.
was going on. And
Mm.
the male influence or the male figure doesn't always have to be like your dad or something. It's just that man that understand it. And I remember I went and talked to my uncle. I like, bro, man, I took it to a certain level with a woman, but we didn't always go there. And then on the drive back home, like I got like this cramp in my nutsack. And I was like, yo, what the hell
Yeah.
going on? You're like, oh, that's blue balls, man. Yo, this is what you do to get rid of that. You know, like it's those little small, it's the small intricacies that, you know, a woman just can't walk a young man through that a man could be able to do. So that's why I say a woman can teach a man how to treat a woman. But I don't think a woman can teach a man fully how to be a man. They can try their best, but it's just certain things they wouldn't even think of. You know what I'm saying? Certain experience and vice versa. We couldn't teach a woman how to be a woman. We could just teach them. We could teach a woman how to treat a man. And so, you know, it's an intricate thing because, like you said, if a young man all he got is women around, he can still grow up to be a solid young man, and those women do the best jobs. It's just certain things he had to figure out on his own. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a woman taught him those things. He figured it out as a man on his own and kind of traversed through it that way. So that's kind of the way I would put it. We do learn certain things from women to help us become better men, but a man could teach a man all the way through his journey how to be a man.
And real quick, Trey, like I said, I know I agree with somewhat with what you said to start this topic, but it's crazy to me that I'm gonna go back to my experience. So this not everybody, but my mom instilled in me when I was 7 years old after my pops left that she always told me I can't teach y'all how to be a man. I can't teach y'all how to be a man. That shit has stuck with me. So you
Yeah.
know, if my mom telling me that, then I don't think no other woman out here can really tell me how to be a man for real, for real.
All right, A.
This is a real good topic, and everybody made valid points on there, and I want
Come on,
to
super.
understand where I say is that I believe that women can do the best that they can to raise a man because everybody has situations where they may not have the father there, of course, and it happens. I mean, we see what's going on outside everywhere. But I'll stand tall of that they can't. I don't think 100% that they can, but I understand they have to do what they have to do to try to do the best that they can, if that makes sense. So they're gonna do the best that they can. But I think I don't think women can raise men. I say that because in my own experience, yes, my father was around, but there was a big portion of my life that I didn't have my father. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I lived most of my time, my childhood, in another state. My father was in another state. Long story. Of course, it was two different households, and I've seen the difference of me being in just a single parent household with just my mom and then being able to stay in the house for a couple years that I did with like my father. Big difference. Like big difference. I saw the dynamic of she saying one thing and saying the same exact thing, but then my father saying a different thing. It was like night and day. And it was like the same thing, but it was like it was a feeling of having that testosterone or maybe that male figure there and me lining up like a straight arrow when he says something, but me being like whatever when she says something, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big difference, and at first I struggled at it. Like I didn't understand the things that he was saying. It was like confusing. Like why I got to do this? Why I got to do that? And he'd be like, not just in simple words I said because I had to, but in small glimpses he'll be like, you'll understand when you get older why you got to do this and why you got to talk that way and why should you have your money this way and why should you do this. And it all started to make sense now that I'm getting to my mid 30s or 30s and understanding what he was saying way back of just small stuff on how to be a man in this world. The main thing was that really spoke out to me was I say that most men can need that father figure, and that of course women can't be able to basically teach men is to control your certain type of your emotions and the way you move. You can't move the same way as women. You can't react the same exact way. And that was one thing that I had a problem with when I was younger. I would go off a lot of my emotions instead of thinking logically and like, you can't do that because you might get shot. You can't do that because you're going to fail. You might do that. You might get kicked out of your place or something like that. It was like controlling certain things that he taught me that you have to level yourself out. That was one of the main things. So I wouldn't say that they can't, because people have to do what they got to do. Women have to step in when the man is not there. That's just how it is. But being as far as having a man in your life, I think a lot of men need it because they need to see how men move, good or bad. And you have even a bad dad, but even if you have a bad dad, you'll at least know I ain't gonna do I ain't gonna do what he
not to
did.
do. Yeah, what not to
That's
do.
already
Yeah,
that's already learning right there. You like, oh, he messed up. I ain't rocking with him. He left. He did this. I know when I have a woman and when I have kids, I ain't doing what he did. Forget that.
yeah.
So that's teaching right there. So we gotta do what we gotta do. So hey, that's my thoughts on it.
Man, I love it. I love where y'all mind is at, man. I love my
Yeah.
fellas, man, because I'm always ready for the 1-2 left hook come back. You know what I mean? But it was this topic that came to mind because a lot about a lot of the people that I talk to about mindset, prospects, potential clients, actual clients, all usually their mindset, all my men, their mindset usually is triggered when it's complications with a woman, you know. And the reason why I chose to screen grab that clip of UG is because one of the things you said was men teach women, women don't teach men. And I know that's just like a blanket statement, but I wanted that to be elaborated because a lot of the things I learned from women, you know. So I know women teach men, but I agree with every one of y'all are spitting facts when it comes to the intricacies, learning from the man. It doesn't have to be a father. Still a male figure because that's what all of us have done. We took male figures, something about that guy I want instilled in me, and I can pay attention and either talk to or imitate to put it in my life because I want to be that caliber man. I want that type of respect. I want, whatever it is, we saw it from a guy or learned it from a guy and was like, that's what I need. And it is some we aren't the same. Men and women are not the same, and we aren't supposed to react the same. Uh, I've been deep diving on this and having a lot of conversations about it off camera. Um, so this is actually awesome. I love where you all are at. So before we continue, I wanted to elaborate on that line that you said, men teach women, women don't teach men. What you meant by that?
Um. Me specifically, or what I said in the video.
Yeah,
I think if I can remember now, I looked at the clip a few times. I remember we were talking in the instance we were talking about the Woman King joint.
right.
That was the I think that was the context of it. But if I give a more broad answer on it, maybe I can elaborate it on more. We all know this is well, we know. I'm gonna say this: we know the difference between men and women, just because it's it's been put in the media that I guess we the same for some reason. Men can be women and women can be men and all that crazy stuff. But we know as men, we know it's the difference between men and women.
Right.
We know that it's just is we have to act a certain way, we have to talk a certain way, we have to move in a certain way that's I think is almost totally different from a woman.
Mhm.
So we can't react, especially react the same. Um, so when it comes to just the small details that men provide, even if you even learn it from a dad or uncle, maybe a older male cousin, a barber shop, you get certain things from them that you never will see. I believe as a spiritual man that is an order to life. It's man over woman, women over man. I mean, I'm sorry, man over woman, women over kids. Well, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Let's do the third time. It's God. Yeah, I'm messing up. It's God over man, man over woman, woman over kids. I believe it's a hierarchy. Not mean that anybody's better than anybody, but I believe that the knowledge and the wisdom is passed down from God to man, and it goes down to women, and the woman teaches to the kids. So when you break up that level of a hierarchy, things get washed out because we're the leveled ones. We get what we need from God, and we be able to push it on to the rest of us. Now I know a lot of people are not spiritual with that, but what I've seen in life, I think a lot of it aligns with it. I think that was the reason why they stopped so many they're stopping so many families. I believe that men are not around a lot because they know the power of what men can do, what fathers can do to a whole community. They know that 100%. They know the reason why. So when you take that out, I believe some men become lost. They don't know what to do with their life. And I was there. I know that feeling. Even though he was still alive, I couldn't see him every day. But I know that feeling like, what do I do next? I don't even know how to talk to this girl. I don't know. I feel mad about this. What should I do? I know I can't react like that. It was a lot of confusion. So without having that male person there to actually show me what a man needs to do in certain situations, I think that they are very crucial when it comes to male development. So that's my main thing. I still go back to women can do what they can, but I think ultimately, I don't think women can completely raise a man by itself. I just don't think so. He needs some male authority somewhere.
Agreed. And I love that you elaborated on that. Shout out to you. You're doing a real good job today.
Yeah, man.
I love it. I love it. I had to get you to elaborate on it because just the statement men teach women, women don't teach men. It's like, well, that's what's the word for it? That's basically tumultuous. It's a tumultuous statement that is like, it's like, yeah, no, because at the same time, the episode right before that, we was talking about how there's really no men teachers, and especially when we was growing up and going to school, there was no men teachers. So literally, the role of teaching was predicated on women. It's looked at as a woman position. So that's why I was like, it ain't that. But what you say, it makes a lot of sense, and definitely, I agree. I agree. For the men out there, man, it is completely different when you hear it from a man and a man's perspective. Like even us going through our depressive moments, or if you consider yourself to have depression, how a man needs to resolve it is different than how a woman would. You know, like more so women want to be accepted, men want to feel capable. I saw a clip of that. So it's like you need to really reinstill it in yourself that you're capable of providing, of protecting, and you need to boost yourself up in that and develop in that sense versus the branding of self-care and self-love. Like self-care for men is different for self-care for women. It's not just spa days, pampering, and face masks. Now, like maybe you need to go. I know this sounds crazy, but maybe you need to play a sport, work out. Maybe you need to, hang out with the fellas because that's communion. You don't even realize it. Can't have community without communication type thing. So I love it, man. I love it. Anybody else?
Hey, real quick, man, Trey said something I thought was powerful. Women want to be accepted, men want to feel capable. That's a bar right there, yo. That's a bar.
That's true.
I ain't thinking about. That's a good. I feel like that's a real easy, pretty much general way to break it down. Women, in regards to that, women want to be accepted, men want to feel capable. I thought that was a bar. I had to shout you out for that one, man.
I appreciate it, but I got that from some stuff that I was watching.
Man. Oh yeah, let's go over one of these comments because there was one that we got to put up there because Quan is wilding right now. So I got to make sure y'all pay. Quan is wilding right now, man.
The instigator.
Quan is wilding. I'm putting it up for Quan wilding right now.
Quan filling in for Bleach.
Quan wilding right now.
What you was gonna say, Keith?
He said, Quan, I'm sorry, can't we define a man if the Supreme Court can't define a woman? Oh,
Man,
man.
We ain't doing that.
Come on, Quan. Listen, Quan.
We know what a man is. We know what a woman is.
Hey, Quan, if you want to talk about that next time, man, put in the chat. Let us know if you want to be on the next live, man. You got to talk about that live. As you see from now on, we went from recording to we went to live. So if you got to talk about that, you got to come live next time with us, man, on the next episode. On the next live, I'm sorry.
Hey, but before we get ready to wrap this one up, man, I know G about to get ready to load up the next video for the next topic and everything.
Right.
Anybody got like their final thoughts they want to share on it? Go ahead, Keith.
I think G hit the nail on the head. Like I'm not a religious person, so I'm not gonna quote the Bible or anything, but I do believe there's a natural order to things, as so it was made in the beginning. And like you said, it's not to say that men are better than women or anything, but men are directly under God, and then the rest follows. And I think right now in society, shit is going so far away from the ideas of God, and the people bringing up on all these other ideologies that there's chaos in the world. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's why I'm working on the communication, because it is like cringe to be like, oh, you over me. Nah, it ain't that. It's more so like we know that God made man first, but man is incomplete without woman. So until the woman is there, you still searching, you still learning, and you still working. You know what I mean? And then once the woman is there, I can definitely tell you from experience. That's why I say experience teaches men, and we get most of our experience from women. How could I put it like that? Experience teaches
men. Say it again.
Experience teach men, and we get most of our experience from women. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that men, maybe men will give the guidance on what you should do, but you'll get the experience on the job dealing with women. Yeah.
Man, we just
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's like the dad give you the playbook. All right, that's what you're supposed to do at your job. All right, you're gonna deal with her to deal with your experience. All right, go do what I taught you. All right, man.
Right, and they say go out there. You need to go out there in the field. What's the field? Out there in the women. You gotta go find the women. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
For real.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, 100%.
Because we about to go into a whole other topic, so I don't want to get too deep. The question is, are we sure men came first before women?
We say?
Are we sure men came first before women?
That's the chicken or the egg debate. So they were saying it's a spirit. Right.
Yeah, real quick, we can't stay on it long because we gotta get ready to go to the next topic. But
we're not gonna stay on it at all. We're not gonna stay on it at all. That's just a tidbit. I thought of future episodes.
That's a tidbit. That's a tidbit. Right. Yeah, we're not gonna answer that one yet. That might be another. That's another live, yeah. But G about to get ready to load up.
He distracted me. Take Quan out the chat. He distracted me.
Man, Quan is tripping, man. Quan is wilding right now. Man, Quan, you gonna jump on the live or not, man? You playing, man.
Yeah, we want to get Quan on the next one, y'all. Quan, you gotta jump on the next one.
Right.
Oh, and then just G and Trace, it cool. I don't know about when the next live is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still good for that? All right, so we going live again. We doing a 2-for-1 special this week. So we got today, and then we also going live again Thursday at 7:30 Eastern time.
Friday.
So we'll be back live again on Thursday. So if you want to join us and want to come on, hey, go ahead, hit us up, man, because we're going back live again Thursday, man. We loading them up.
Friday.
I mean Friday.
Keep saying Thursday.
Friday, my bad. Friday at 7:30. Hey, look, I got used to Thursday. Friday, y'all. Friday, excuse me. Friday, 7:30. We're going live again.
They don't need to know about, man. We grown, man. We going live when we want to. We talk on the back end. When y'all know we go live when the premiere come up, then y'all jump on. Y'all on our schedule. We ain't on on y'all's, man.
Everybody's super, bro. Super
Exactly.
Keith,
See,
Super A,
exactly.
Super
Hey,
G,
we run this, man. Hey,
Super
we let
Quad.
y'all know. Y'all don't let us know. All right, let's jump on this. This is a good one right here. We gonna jump into that finance. This is a good one that I want to know because, of course, I want
I
to
like
start
talking about money.
my 5-on-5 team. So I want to make sure I'm getting the most money out of my 5-on-5 team, man. So let's go and dip into this one. I gotta hear about this one. Let me know, Paul. Let's roll with this.
All right, let's go.
Give them money. We don't give them an allowance. I don't think any kid should be given an allowance.
Interesting. Why not?
If they want money, they become an employee of the company. We give them a series of things to do. We pay them once a year. That money goes into Cardone Capital, and they live off the distributions.
That's amazing.
It's a tax write-off. We're doing about $50,000 a year for their salaries right now. Started 30. They said, "How can I get a raise?" I said, "You can do more things." Sometimes they'll get a bonus for doing extra stuff. They never get the money.
It's invested.
They get the distributions. I think they're $667 a month in cash flow. When they saw the sweater I like, how much is it? $200. I said, "Good. How you want to handle it?" So they're like, "Yeah, I want to buy this out of my checking account."
Right.
They feel better.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a
let me
good
tell you.
one.
Hey, look, I gotta run get my charger real quick. Y'all go ahead. Y'all talk about it because I got something to say about that one. Yeah. Go ahead. Y'all go
You
ahead.
gotta start it off, Paul.
I can start. I can start it off real quick. I think that's
go ahead, bro.
genius. I think it's genius. And the reason why I say that, I always shout out this book, man, that I read called The Millionaire Next Door. I'm pretty sure most of y'all heard me talk about it. That's on the live. But everybody out there, man, that's a great book to check out. And it talk about how it's a decline in second generation millionaires. And what they talk about is, and what they explain in the book, my boy Trey got holding it up right there. What they talk about in that book is the reason why it's a drop off in second generation millionaires is because they don't have the work ethic. They don't have the work ethic, and they don't learn the money knowledge, because instead of the parents, the first generation millionaires, teaching them how did I get it, how did I manage my money and things like that, then what I would say is, what happened is that since they didn't teach them, they just know how to spend money, and they think money's supposed to go to them. They don't know how to work for the money. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to plan. And so then when they got this millions of dollars or whatever, they don't know how to add on to it. And if you ain't adding on, it's subtracting from you. And so what Grant is teaching them is, how to better use your money. When he talked about living off, I think he said living off the interest or the dividends. Started, and imagine you get to, like, you a kid and your parents got millions of dollars set aside to you, and you got in some type of investment vehicle where it's producing $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. And instead of you just blowing through that money and then using it and spending on frivolous stuff, you say, you know what, I'm gonna add to it. And when I add to it, instead of $3,000 a month coming to me in interest or dividends, now I got $6,000 or $8,000. Most people don't think like that. They think, oh, I got $1 million up in here and I want something. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna withdraw from it, pay capital gains tax, all these other taxes and penalties and stuff like that, and end up losing the money. Instead of just being like, you know what, my parents laid a foundation, the ground level for me, I'm gonna add on to that. So instead of just, in these investments, cashing it out and then going and buying things you don't really need, you go around and you add on top of it, and what it's going to do is benefit you in the long run. And now your family, all they got to do is just live off of interest for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about. He said, I don't really pay them in cash. He said, I invest their money for them. And when they want something, you come talk to me. What do you want? All right, I got to put a little bit of money in your checking account. Here, you go ahead, use your debit card or whatever, and just spend just spend everything. Like trust fund babies, exactly, Taz. Trust fund babies. And that's what, but a lot of times these trust fund babies, they want to live a certain lifestyle that they haven't earned. Your parents earned that for you. You know what I'm saying? Your parents built this up so you can live that lifestyle. You didn't work hard for it, so you're not going to value it the same way as somebody else who worked hard to build up that level. So what Grant is teaching them is the work ethic that it takes to keep on building on what the parents laid on the foundation level. So that's why I think that's a great idea, because he getting them used to not really spending money, but not getting used to seeing the money. That's the better way to put it. When you don't see it, you don't think you got it. You know what I'm saying? So now you spending and you thinking on your money differently. But if you keep giving them cash and stuff like that, I learned this from my daughter. So I don't really give my daughter a bunch of cash and stuff all the time. But when they see the cash, they like, ooh, I got $20. I can spend $20 instead of thinking, oh, I can spend maybe 10 and I need to save this other $10. So I like what he was talking about. That's how that gives you a better opportunity to build second and third and fourth generation millionaires within the family instead of dying off at that first level.
All right, I'm about to turn this up. Paul, go ahead and grab the charger, bro. I think he's going out anyway. But that type of information, that's a resource that most Black people don't know. A part of financial literacy that we haven't learned. I haven't seen that in a book anywhere. And those who do get that type of knowledge for some reason, what I see is the.
Come on, white boy. Take 4 yours and get 9. Oh shit, my bad.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey man, that was my brother, y'all. Listen.
What just happened, bro?
Everybody's super today.
He crazy, man. This don't y'all met him. You ain't gotta meet him. Y'all ain't gotta see his face, but y'all heard his voice. This is how he is, all right?
He sounds just like
That's
you,
why I
bro.
love to be here right now. This is what I love why I'm here. You never know what's gonna happen. Continue, man. I'm sorry.
But so I would say that that's a resource that or just something that's learned. That's a generational thing. You know what I'm saying? So we still learning the generational aspects of leaving assets and creating wealth instead of just making money. So that's one of the things that I see us currently working on, and it's one of the things that from our previous discussions, G would be like, "That's not like why can't you learn it?" type thing. And the two mentalities, if I could try to bridge them, the two mentalities, I would say like the one who does learn it, wherever you learn it from, even if we have to step outside our own to learn these types of things. Infiltration, man. Spook who sat by the door. Learn these things and bring them back to your people. A lot of us who get it don't share it with the next one. You know what I'm saying? We start to look at each other. Uh, we start to look at each other differently. Like, I got it. You should do it too. Yeah, but show me what the hell did you did. You know what I'm saying? Throw me the resource. You know what I mean? What was the book that you read? What was you know what I'm saying? Give me the juice, boss. Give me the juice so I can, you know what I'm saying, take this knowledge and apply it. I can't we can't all bet on self to a certain extent, especially if we're talking about community. You bet on yourself and you build your value is determined by what servitude, what you can do for others. So all of your learning, my Black people, all of your learning, all of the generational curses that's being broken, all of the things that you're now instilling that is actually boosting and bettering your family, show it to the next family. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily got to charge. Show it to the next family so that we can actually, incline on the scale. Would y'all agree?
I agree.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Hey, real quick, can I chime in on that real quick? I'm back, y'all.
Super power, we super, bro.
I'm back. I wanted to chime in on that because I do agree to show, but sometimes people got to be able to do their own research, and you got to be willing to take a chance. And the reason why I say that is sometimes by the time we show y'all, it's too late for y'all to really jump in to get the returns or to get the maximum benefit where it benefit us the same way as it does them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you hear about something, you gotta people need to start getting in a rhythm of doing their own research, especially in the financial field, because this thing is constantly moving, it's constantly evolving. And sometimes if you don't get in on a certain level, your potential gains, if
Mm-hmm.
we talk about like investments and stuff like that, is dwindled. We could go into life insurance. If you don't get life insurance at an earlier age, it costs you a lot more when you get later on in life. And then when you realize the importance of it, you be like, oh man, I can't get as much coverage because it costs more money for me than it would have if I would have listened to somebody at age 25 and did it. So some of the things, it's not necessarily they can show you. You got to do your research so you can learn from other people as well and other sources that, like this might be a legitimate investment. This might be a legitimate, avenue, life insurance, things like that, where you're
Yo.
not missing the boat when they go and sell. So
Uh-oh.
I agree, we do got to show you, but sometimes you can't show somebody what's not there yet. But then once it get
Mm.
there, I can't really show you the same way now because it's not going to operate the same way for you unless you got more money or this or that. So I agree in a sense, but sometimes we got to get in the habit of doing our research so we can learn for ourselves, and we can teach people. But some things, like I can't show you. I can show you what somebody else got paid for life insurance, but don't mean it's going to be the same thing for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your research and see that, a company has a track record of doing good business over a period of time to be able to pay out on something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some
Yeah.
things you gotta be along for the ride. And
Yeah.
I give, and real quick, I give an example. And not financial advice. It's not directing towards any type of stock or whatever. But I made out pretty good on the GameStop wave a couple of years back. And I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to tell people like, yo, like, hey, this thing about to pop off. It's about to get ready to pop off. Like, don't miss it. And the thing was, I couldn't show them that. You know what I'm saying? I could just show them numbers. I could show them projections and things like that. But I can't show you what it's going to be. But once it popped off and I made my money, the people that came after that wave not making the same amount. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If not lost money now. So
Mm.
that's what I'm kind of talking about in regards to some of those things.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Keith, what
I
you
think
had to?
that stuff like that GameStop shit was like rarely happens in the market, like
Mm-hmm.
so that's like an anomaly. But I think to Paul's point, no, you can't show people everything, but I think you can show people the logic right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
based on one thing Grant Cardone talked about was, he invests the money in stuff that's gonna pay out a dividend or interest over time. Any young person that asks me how I got to where I am, like at my job, and they were like, "Oh, you investing? I heard you investing in stocks, like da 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 da." Like, how you do that? I'm like, "Hey, man," I tell them, invest in anything that pays a dividend, any stable company that pays a
Hello.
dividend. Like, I can't preach that enough. Like, I'm gonna invest this money in this company. Like, let's take Apple for example. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
put money in Apple, who's the number one tech company in the world. And not only does it have the potential for the stock price to rise, which is going to gain me money, but in the meantime, they're going to pay me X amount of cents per every share I own,
Mm-hmm.
monthly or quarterly. Like, I think, to Grant Cardone's point, like I'm scared to be a father because with my kids, every time they want something, I'm like, how much that costs? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put that in dividend for you, and you can go buy it later. Like because I'm scared to be a father because I'm gonna be like, no, no, because I'm thinking like, all right, if somebody was there to tell me when I was little, no, you don't need that Ninja Turtle toy, no, you don't need them Batman, like I want to say no to all that frivolous stuff. I'm gonna let them get away with some stuff, like maybe on their birthday, Christmas, whatever, but I'm gonna say no to a lot of shit they don't need that they go outgrow in like a month, especially in the early years. And I would just,
Mm.
put. I'm gonna adopt that. I'm gonna pretty much adopt that idea of Grant Cardone, and I'm gonna put that shit in dividends. That's what I'm doing for myself now. But I wish I was doing this like 10 years ago, compared to just starting in my 30s and whatnot. Because like Paul said,
It's a
the
different
boat,
playing
the boat,
field.
yeah, the boat ain't sailed, but the potential gain over time could have been so much
Mm-hmm.
greater if you got the knowledge a little earlier. So that's
Yeah,
dividends. It's not financial advice, but go get some dividends.
right.
Okay.
And
I,
before we go too, well, not before, but I want to elaborate too about stop giving kids money. Kids don't know what to do money. So this is one of the things that we need to be teaching the youth more younger. Stop thinking that kids can't learn these things because they definitely can. And if you're having a challenging time with it or grasping that concept, then try to find a way that a kid would learn this because they learn everything else. If they can learn ABCs and how to read and how to write and
They
arithmetic
know
and
they know lyrics to NBA YoungBoy at 3 years old. They can learn some shit, bro.
they learn them TikTok
Facts.
dances and everything.
don't
They
turn
can
them
learn
up.
this. They can
Don't
learn
turn
this
them up.
financial stuff.
Hey, that was
They
Uh,
can
good,
learn
Keith.
that stuff. So make
See,
learning fun. See, look, make learning
yeah, they
fun.
do. I mean, yeah, that's good, Keith. I mean, that goes into that's basically kind of what I was leaning to, and Taj kind of hit it. Taj kind of hit it right on there. She just posted. She had put a comment in, and that's like kind of the same exact way of kind of how I think. It's a mixture of both. Even though I lean more of kind of what she was saying as far as people know the knowledge. I think nowadays, I mean, back then, let's take it back. Back then, of course, we were taken away from it. It was a point even in America we weren't able to read. I understand that part. We was there. We couldn't even get to certain ways and couldn't do this, could do that. I understand that. But now we get into an age where not even just 2023, at least 2010, 2000, 1990, we all have the same access to the same libraries. And now we're even so good now that we got whole computers in our hands right here. This is a whole computer that can find anything on here. We either use this right here for education or pleasure. I think the problem is that a lot of people are using that too much for pleasure and not bettering themselves and educating themselves. So
Yeah.
it's a mixture of yeah, I kind of want to be able to get get everything, get a few tips from other people, but it's like a fine line where like you ain't gonna tell me, well forget it, I'm gonna have to learn on my own. So we're gonna
Right.
have to find out a way between those two because honestly, we have to come to a realization that we have evil people in the world. We have people that are a-holes. We have people that
Come
don't
on.
really care about the next person. So it's not just that they're not telling you it, it's because they're not telling you because they don't want to see you win too. So if you know that from a person, you keep on understanding that they ain't gonna tell you the juice, you ain't gonna be able to find it, then you will have to go to YouTube University, go old school, get a library card, go try to figure out a way to find it on your own because that's just the way of the world and everything's on your fingertips. Even how we found these clips right here, how I found that clip, I didn't even know about I can put my kids on a checking account or something like that. I was like, oh, and I had that because I was really going through my bag about how I can be able to better myself as a husband and build more wealth when I have a family. So I was like, maybe I can find somewhere, and I had that video sitting in the stash for like months because I wanted to use that eventually when I had kids. So I was being proactive and trying to figure out a way where I could be able to build more wealth through my family. So it's all on the person. It's all on you. If you want to go ahead and learn it, figure out a way to Google it, find it, because that's what I'm doing in my spare time. And I'm not just on there just posting pics and looking on random TikTok and doing all wild stuff. I'm trying to better my education. So I think it comes down to the person. If you want to do better, it's out here. There's plenty of money out here, man. So we're going to have to figure out a way to do some stuff on our own or get
I,
around a group of men that want to see you win.
I love it. I love it. Both of them.
Yeah. Yep.
And to consolidate that, what I always tell people is knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power.
mhm.
Because it doesn't, the same thing y'all saying is it doesn't matter how much you know if you don't do anything with it. Because honestly, you don't know it as much if you never put the experience behind it. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
we love to get it from the wise because the wise could tell us their personal experience with their knowledge that they learned. You know what I'm saying? And going back to the topic of stop giving kids money, they was having a discussion. Come on, Paul. They was having a discussion this Sunday, this past Sunday at Free Session Sunday. The discussion turned into they was talking about how they paying the college kids and they're paying the kids in college now. And the idea was, man, the general consensus in that conversation was, man, that is it's going to be horrible. Well, why do we think it's going to be horrible to give kids millions of dollars? You know, these are essentially teenagers and young adults, you know, like playing sports and already reaping the benefit of, you know, where they're trying to go. So you can get lack of ambition, you can get complacency. We're looking at uh, people like John Morant as ideal, you know what I'm saying, the ideal person. You know, when you got the youth are looking up to the youth. So you see somebody like that, like, hey, if he got XYZ amount of money, then you could do whatever. So the more money as a kid that you get, the more that you get earlier on, if there's no morals instilled there, if there's no structure there, then it can be destructive. It can be destructive. So on the topic of giving kids money, giving people money, to me, that's why I don't jump to somebody like, man, I'm broke, I need this, that. And I'm like, all right, well, what can you do to make money? I'd rather see you put the action in, you learn something, because teach a man to fish, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Teach a man to fish. Instead of me just making you a meal, you know what I mean? Because now you're gonna look at me as the resource, and this is what happens. I think this is one of the things that has happened with us, and one of the reasons why we started pointing the finger is when we could rely on our neighbor, then you tend to only rely on the neighbor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, uh, instead of making sure that you have sugar, I'm gonna just make sure I go ask my neighbor for sugar. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah,
you
I get
make
what you're
sense.
saying. We with
You
you.
make
We with
sense.
you.
You know what I mean? So,
You know, black people love sugar, so I understand.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Love some sugar.
About to talk about. So yeah, I, I'm on that wave when it comes to when it comes to community development within our people. Uh, you have to be accountable. You have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to apply what you learn to get the result for you and your family. And you have to be willing to be open to share that with the next person who is as willing to learn and ready to apply. And as long as we continue that, that is where the building happens.
Very true. Very
I
true.
got,
I like that, man.
I got you, man. So we're gonna get ready to close up on this topic. We got a third topic today too. I know G
Yes.
getting that in the queue, getting ready for that. But it was one thing I wanted to touch on, man. Keith brought up a good point about dividend stocks, man. And one of the powerful thing about
Hmm.
dividend stocks is not only can it pay you out, so you use that money to pay your bills and everything, but you can also reinvest those dividends to accumulate more stocks faster. And
Mm.
you basically, the company's paying you, and then you can turn that money and get more stocks to invest and get more and build up your portfolio faster. So that's one of the good benefits about those dividend stocks, man. And why
When you
those are
talk
like a
about
hot commodity. Go ahead, Trey.
now you now you talk about compounding interest. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
that's what you call real drip. They call it drip. It's dividend reinvestment. Something I don't remember what it's called, but it's called drip. And
I heard it.
stock.
I can't think of it right now, but yeah,
So
I know what you're
so
talking about.
so instead of going out and buying designer and thinking you got drip on, you got drip if you got this money making money for you and you ain't even looking at it. That's real drip.
Exactly, man. So I mean, it's so many financial options. Oh, and I thought it was something else I wanted to talk on while G getting the video loaded up too. The reason why it's important for people to do their own research. The
Hmm.
investment field is a very
Personable.
say that again, Trey.
It could be a personable thing, like something that you like or it would
No,
invest in.
no,
It's risky.
that's not the
It's
route I was
risky.
going. It
It's
can be
risky.
tricky. It can be risky. Yeah, Keys know where I'm going. You got to do your own research because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of scams and schemes, and I think I talked about it on my personal podcast, the King of the Berries one, but you got things called like pump and dumps, and a lot of people get in trouble.
Whoa.
With
Again?
Whoa.
I thought we was gonna get clean through.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hey, Paul,
Sounds like a fun time.
Like GameStop
and that's what it's called, yo. That's what it's called. I ain't saying it again.
Why you ain't saying it again, man? It's already on record.
They go back and rewind. But basically what people do is they build up fake excitement over a stock and get people. Look, there you go. Kawan put it down in the comment section. There you
That's
go.
crazy. That's crazy.
But that's what it's called though. And so people build up a lot of excitement over a company that's not doing well, or you know what I'm saying? It has no real value for the price to be going up. They build up excitement for it because they got in early. And so they put it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, start talking about this company, and then other people start investing in it. So let's say it's at $10, and now somebody bought like 1,000 shares at $10, and now it go up to like $30 or $40. And those people that invested at the bottom line, they pull all their money out and take the profits, and then now the price drops, and now everybody else that invested in it later on end up losing a lot of their money. And that's a thing where a lot of I think I saw something where like 90% of active traders don't make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not sure how those stats really are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's included in them, but I thought that was interesting that 90% of active traders, so people that manage their own accounts and things like that, newbies and stuff like that, they're losing money because it's a lot of research and a lot of work to go into finding good solid companies other than the mainstream ones you know about, and that's the easiest way. But active traders are trying to make money faster than trying to hold for years to come. Active traders are trying to make quick flips in a week, a month, whatever. And so if you're that type of person that's trying to look for that quick flip and that want to be an active trader, you gotta be able to say, yo, does this stock make sense for what it's doing? And that take a lot of researching into the earnings, to research into the balance sheet and all that stuff, man. So
we veering off.
Yeah, hey, look, man. When we talk about finances, I get excited, bro. Like,
I know,
this
man.
is what I love to talk about right here.
Everybody get a quick note. Everybody is in the chat, man. Make sure y'all keep on chatting. Y'all let us know that y'all here, man. Y'all rocking with us. Give us a like. Share this out to the next person. Let us know, man. We the best podcast out here, and let us know. Keep on pushing it out. Keep on sharing it. Keep on liking it, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in every week, every Friday, every episode, and now tuning us to all the lives, man. We really appreciate y'all, man. We put a lot of work in over here.
Super podcast. We super everything. Super
Yeah. Hey, G, you got the video up and loaded?
Man, yes, sir.
We
rocking and rolling, man. We rocking and rolling. We getting on the fitness tip, and this is one that I really want everybody to really think about and dive in, because I believe this is one of the reasons why I was hospitalized. Honestly, I mean, there ain't no test around it, but I really believe this is one of the reasons why. And I want to teach people and let them understand what they digesting in their body, man. I want them to live long and look good. Y'all already know the motto. So we're gonna dive into it, man.
I stopped eating fries from Chick-fil-A. I mean, fast food in general. But I feel like if everyone went on their favorite fast food restaurant's website and actually read the list of ingredients to their favorite meals, they'll stop eating it too. And don't get it twisted, I used to love them waffle fries now. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like fast food, but just processed food in general, is the root cause for a lot of these modern diseases. Like colon cancer is on the rise right now. And there's people in their 20s dying from colon cancer. Like, that's crazy. And the cold part about it is, even though we're seeing a bunch of young people dying from colon cancer, doctors still won't screen you until you're in your 40s. they still claiming we have nothing to be worried about. So the best thing anyone can do for their health right now, don't matter if you're vegan, carnivore, whatever, is to stay away from processed food and stay away from fast food. And I get it, it tastes amazing, but it's killing us. I mean, just think about it. Why does Chick-fil-A need 60 ingredients to make a chicken sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. None.
Yep.
All right, AG, start us off.
Start us off, bro.
Man, I'm real passionate about this one because I'll go too deep. But as the people would know, they watch me on my channel. Pause. Yeah, too deep. No, that could have been a pause. That could have been a woman.
Come on, yeah, no, we good. Keep rolling, bro. Keep rolling.
No, they had to be a dude. That's different, man. That's different. No, because to go into my story, people know that I have Crohn's disease, and it's part of the colon. It's a part of the intestines, and the number one reason why people get that type of disease because the number one is the food, and the number two is the stress that it puts on your body. That's where it comes out to, and I believe number one, they will not tell me. As far as the doctors, I don't know if it's a secret or what they want to do, but I truly believe me looking at and having it for. I've had this. I have it 20 years now. I believe it came from the food. I don't care what they say. So from an experience on what food, these processed foods, everything that basically everything, a lot of things are processed. It's fast food, all that stuff. I really believe it gives us certain type of diseases. It messes with your brain, and it minimizes your life on this earth. I really truly believe that 100%. I know it's good. Nobody used to love fried chicken as much as me KFC. Nobody loves as much from chicken filet, Big Macs. I was that guy. I know it. I've been there. I promise you I've been there. I'm human like everybody else, and I tried them all, and I love them all. But as you're getting older and as you see now, a lot of people like in their 20s, they're getting these diseases. It's a fight. I know we want it, but we have to come to realization that they don't care about us. They do these restaurants, they don't care about us. They care about our money. They don't care about your health. They don't care what they put in their food as long as you keep on coming back. Make it as salty as they can and making it as addictive as they can for you to come back and spend more money on them. They do not care about you. So I know it's a struggle, but I think our community and everybody needs to be more aware of what we put in our body and looking at the back of these labels and seeing what's this stuff that we're putting in our body. Like he said, it was 60 items that you put into a chicken sandwich. Why?
Right.
I mean, why? And it won't lie. And I went and I look. It's like stuff that I can't even pronounce this stuff. Why I need all this? What happened to just chicken flour and some pepper and that's it? That's chicken sandwich. I mean, why do you need all this different stuff? So I think it's real. I mean, we all love. I think everybody on here, it's safe to say that we all love some type of processed food or fast food. You be lying if you be lying to me if you say you didn't. So I think we should get smart about it, man. I mean, I really think we should, man.
I came to the same conclusion as you, G, and I came to it early on. For one of my first jobs was at McDonald's, and one of the things that I learned from school, I was an A student, but I picked up on what I think would benefit me. One of the things I learned from school is how nature revolves when a body or a carcass decays and it goes back into the earth, and how bacteria eats at like rotting flesh and stuff like that. Um, so one of the things that I don't remember where I got it from, but one of the things that I learned was if it doesn't mold, it's not real. And I worked at McDonald's and I would look at the trash, and instead of the burgers and the sandwiches, instead of the meats molding, there was no fuzz or nothing. It would just get harder and harder. It would just get shut up. It would just
Hey, now that was crazy.
we can't talk for long because we gonna start tripping.
That was crazy.
It get harder and harder.
Yeah, that's
said it slow too. He said it slow too. Goddamn.
Yeah, that was a wild one. You
All
was a
right, go
wild
ahead, Craig.
boy.
You good?
You was a wild boy.
So if it doesn't mold, that means it doesn't grow bacteria, and bacteria literally eats decaying organisms, right?
Mm.
So if something that eats rotting flesh wouldn't eat it, why should you? No.
Very true. That's facts. Yeah. Even the rotting won't eat it. Why? Yeah, they don't even touch it. They don't
Right.
even want. Yeah.
Nature, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, Keith.
y'all know my story. Like my poor diet is kind of the reason why I found G in the first place and started working out and whatnot. And even to this day, I still it's improved vastly, but I still struggle with gastrointestinal problems and stuff with certain foods. And I did have to cut out the Chick-fil-A and the faux fours, even though it's cheap as hell.
Oh, for
Yeah, it's cheap.
foes.
Yeah, it's cheap as hell, but it's just not good for you. Especially French fries. Like French fries, it's like I don't know what they did, how they studied, but whoever invented French fries was a smart motherfucker because everybody loves fucking French fries. I don't know if soul on this planet you can have eating disorder, whatever you like French fries and
They
whatnot.
gotta, they
But
gotta put it's. I don't know what they put in it. They gotta put something in
crack,
it, bro, because it
crack,
makes you addicted.
crack,
Yep.
crack.
It is.
It's
It's like
crack,
it has to be some kind of they. I guarantee put
crack,
like some in the lab to create something to put in it to like
crack,
make us addicted to it.
Them the
crack,
preservatives.
crack.
Them the preservatives that we talk about. And crack is one of them.
Yeah, whatever that's in crack, they whatever the enzyme or whatever in crack, they put it in the food.
Maybe and that bitch like and sprinkle a little.
Yeah. So
It's
no, this,
crazy.
this,
We think it's
to
salt.
some,
It's not even salt,
yeah,
yo.
yeah. To sums it all up, like I try to cook for myself. I was telling Trey when I just ate a steak and shit, before I got on. I'm starting to cook more this year. Um, I think the worst I try to do now is like maybe lunch meat. Lunch meat
Yeah,
not really good for you either, but I love
that's
on the hot,
processed.
yeah, especially on the hotter months. Like I like to make a cold turkey sandwich and whatnot. So,
But go get
but
yours straight from the deli, bro. Get it straight from the deli. It tastes better. It's authentic meat, and the cost is about the same. Get it straight from the
word,
deli.
word, yeah, that's why it costs. I guess that's why it costs more because it's real shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I be looking at the price for a slice of bologna and shit, and it'd be like $2 or something from the deli. And but yeah, what G was saying was facts. Like uh, the eating less processed food is healthier for you. Get your fruits and vegetables in. Lean
Absolutely.
meats, and yeah, man, just eat better, live longer.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead, Father.
Yo, I'm right in the same lane as all of y'all, man. I think for for me, I think it's just it's a lot that go into it because like G said, it messed with your mind too. And I know like
Mm,
I went on like a juice fast, like a
mm,
fresh juice fast and fruit fast for like the last 2 days because I was talking to Trey Sunday. We did free
yeah,
session and everything like
yeah.
that. Like how my mind and stuff was feeling a little clouded and stuff. And
So right.
I think I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but I've been vegetarian for a long time, but probably like the last 2 months or whatever, I started eating a little bit of chicken and things like that. And I haven't been feeling right since. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been feeling a little off ever since then. And so I had to do a little juice fast and I've been getting my mind been clear. I've been thinking back to where I was thinking at, and I got more energy. So that food not even just destroy your health, but it also does something with like clouding your mind and not even thinking as well too. So I mean that's kind of the aspect I wanted to tackle it on because
Yeah.
I just noticed the difference ever since I changed my diet and started incorporating more of those processed foods. And even though it's been delicious, it's been amazing. But I haven't felt my body hasn't felt right. since then, and so that's why I had to do a little cleanse, man, to get myself back together.
Hey, Paul, to your point, I don't know where I was reading it, but that brain fog or whatever you're feeling, that's because they say that's because you're reintroducing another animal's blood back
Blood,
into your
yeah.
system,
Ooh.
and they said, the what we get from meat, it's full of protein, but also full of stuff that, you know, basically turns our minds towards like thinking like thinking like animals, and like that's why we have emotional distress or people can't control their
Mm.
emotions because they so full of, bullshit from meat and, outside of the protein and whatnot.
I also heard something about how the animal is raised if it's in a stressful environment. That
There
stress
we go.
that
Yeah,
stress
ma-
hormone is in the
mad
food.
cow. Yep.
Yeah, and exactly. And then when you process and you eat it, then it leads into you feeling that type of way, more stressed out and things like that. So that's a
So
good point, Keith, because I heard something along that line as well too, man.
I told y'all, man, the FDA approves 4% of human flesh
Yeah.
within the meat, within the processing. So you
That's
think
crazy.
about it, man. You literally, I mean, literally, like we really don't know behind the scenes. Because I think it's a book called Wheat Bellies, and it's another one about I have to look it up and leave it in the comments. But it's these books that show like within the processing and manufacturing plants and stuff. And I'm right up the street from a Tyson manufacturing plant. I think they shut it down in COVID. But I used to smell it all the time, and I'm like, yo, it always smells like something's decaying.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and that I seen like pics where like these animals could have cancer, and like you can see the
Mm,
tumors and
yeah,
all of these blood clots and all of that stuff, and it's just being mixed in. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take the lazy route, unfortunately. Like when you think about that's what we was talking about. When you talk about money, people like well, a little bit ain't gonna hurt them. Well, it is, and it is funny that we did have that type of brain fog because I was feeling all of us was feeling it recently. A lot of us was feeling it. A lot of us was feeling it recently, and I do realize that I had started eating a little bit more fast food too, just because of the demand of work that I was doing. I ain't have time to properly plan, so I had to get it how I live for a little bit. But
mhm.
even then, I still wasn't eating that much, and it still could have a possible effect. Now, with me, ain't nothing better than home cooking.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing better than home cooking, man. That was one of my qualifications of me having a wife. My woman got to cook. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to cook. I cook. You know what I'm saying? I'm Chef Boy Negro. I handle mine in the kitchen. And I always like to do things from scratch. It kind of annoys her. Like everything I want to do from scratch. I could pretty much anything I can like concoct from scratch. Uh, so when from experience, like if you was to go get a bag of noodles, right, that you could boil for your pasta or whatever, you always see like this section of ingredients. You know, like it's like how many ingredients is in noodles? It's really just how you make a flour and you know what I'm saying? Like it's really like a three ingredient thing. Then why is it this many on the label? You know, so I'm big on doing things from scratch and keeping it at home. And one of those things that was instilled in me for childhood was fast food is a reward. So you're not gonna get it all the time, and you have to earn it. Going back to how that's one of the things that was instilled in me. So I have to earn. If I have to earn it, that makes me have to work for it. And until I can get that, what else am I doing? I still got to eat. All of that stuff instilled in me to keep it at home. And like you said, I always feel better when I have it at home. It might taste good, but I always get like itis or sluggish
Yeah.
after eating. It doesn't matter the amount either. Like, I could get something like my mouth dry now. Why is my mouth dry? You know, when I had all this sauce and all this stuff in my mouth dry, it don't make sense.
said,
I got
what,
it
Jamel?
sauce.
Come on, man.
You come on, where you at?
How you not even on the screen
Hey,
and make
Right.
Cause man, I couldn't deal with that one.
Say all this sauce. It's sauce, bro.
yeah, no,
Man, sometimes we can't talk for too
Trey, it
long.
wasn't even bad. But when G elaborate on it, it's like, damn, like that kind of wild. But you good, Trey. You good. Don't pay you no mind, yo.
No man, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, man. Like eating fast food always came with side effects, and it was like I deal with these side effects because I want this fast food for the moment, but I can't live off of that. And uh, not to go too much further, because I know we gotta wrap it up shortly. One of the things that causes cancer is heated plastic, and this is something that I had to learn that is not promoted. Uh, this video might get canceled when we blow up a little bit when we get a little bigger, um, because heated plastic creates uh, cancer-inducing qualities. What happens is they put plastic in everything. It could be a little bit, but that margarine, that is literally plastic. So margarine is, of course, way cheaper than butter, and most of these companies call it butter, but they use it margarine within their products, and it's already pre-cooked in when it comes to all of it. So when you heat these things up, now you're literally talking about why is cancer continuously rising? I ain't eating crazy and all that. Well, it doesn't take for so much, apparently. And then if you got like plastic cups, plastic cutlery, plastic plates, plastic
water
bowls
bottles.
that you
Mm.
water bottles, you leave
Being
your
left out
water
in the
in the
heat.
trunk. Yeah, you leave
Yeah,
your water
yeah,
in the trunk,
yeah.
your water then heat it up. And you come back in the morning, it's cool. It's still got those cancer qualities in it. That's why
Hmm.
I switched to a metal canteen. And if you was to leave your water in a copper cup and you was to pour out, if you was to leave your water in a copper cup overnight, when you go to pour out, it would show you the what is it? It would filter out the water, and you'll have much less water than what you poured in the cup because it'll be all of this stuff at the bottom. You probably look at it like, what in the world? You don't even know what you're drinking. It's plastic in the water. Most of our interior design for our cars is plastic. So we in the summer. I know it's hot in Texas. It's hot up here in Virginia. Uh, the first thing you do is get in your car, you start your car, you got to roll your windows down, but you're feeling that immense heat. It's always hotter on the inside. So all of that is heated plastic. All of this I learned because my little brother, unfortunately, has two forms of cancer. And I learned a lot of this stuff because he used to eat, when I moved out, all of the siblings moved out of mom's house, and mom's still working. He basically had to take care of himself, so he had a whole lot of like TV dinners, getting a lot of personal. He had like a lot of TV dinners and stuff, and he would eat those things like constantly. And I'm just seeing like this constant heated plastic. It made sense to me when you put those two things together, and I was like, man. Once I started feeding him, that's when he was able to be released out of the hospital because they was like, "Yo, he's not gonna make it." They told him, "Like, you're not about to make it, bro." I had to give him a detox, let him flush out whatever was in there because I don't know if y'all know anything or dealt with anybody who has cancer, but they don't have an appetite. After you've been throwing up and you can't keep nothing down and you got blood coming out of you, you don't really feel like eating. You know what I'm saying? Um, all of the drugs that they put in you, the chemo and all that stuff, all has different effects. And one of the things that you don't want to do is eat. That's why people who have cancer get so small. They get so skinny. He lost so much weight. I didn't know what my little brother looked like. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who this person was if you was to look at him. What was one of the things that I did though is I said, no, within all of the pills that they gave you, I'm gonna give you the medicine that I see for you. And I gave him detoxes. As soon as he detoxed out, whatever. As soon as he, flushed out, he was like, "Man, I'm hungry." Good. He goes, I cooked up some chicken, some brown rice, broccoli. Here, simple. You know what I'm saying? And he started eating, and with him continuing to eat and having healthier things in his body, now he's gaining weight. Now his body is fighting back, and now you're able to leave the hospital and reduce yourself. It's a process, but he was able to recover. Still has these cancers, but you wouldn't know it if you looked at him. Hair growing, all of that stuff. So shout out to him for surviving that. Uh,
Yes, sir.
and but all of that, I say all of that to say, all of it was, what are you putting in your body? What are you putting in your body? We really have to pay more attention to it. It's convenience. Convenience is a killer to me. And that's why so many people don't have the work ethic these days. All of the technology is making people lazy. The demand is higher than the supply, and everybody is impatient and on edge. All of it is created from the convenience. You know what I'm saying? I think convenience is the killer to me. I love things to be convenient, sure. I mean, even with access, and we talk about how we're so overly sexualized. It's because, like we said, you got the convenience. You don't have to search for it. It's still gonna pop up on your drive. As we were live, I just went and posted in my story that we was live, but it showed up in my feed, something that I don't search, somebody I don't follow. It showed up in my feed, a girl in a bikini in a pool, and I'm like, I'm here to promote my live. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they
Uh,
do.
it's convenience, man. It's convenience. You don't even got to look for it. All of this stuff, the convenience is the killer. So when they knew that they could, how can we make things convenient? It's always about shortcuts and hoodwinking, some type of falsehood. They're not going to give you all of the juice of what they're doing behind the scenes. They're just going to say, hey, well, you want this? You want this quick? All right, well, we got you. And for a low cost, we got you. You know?
I think that's that saying. I mean, y'all have heard that saying that just because it comes so easy don't mean it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
it's 4 for 4, it's facts. If it's
Pause.
4 for 4, it's so quick. If it's you get a chicken sandwich and they can make it in 2 seconds, it's quick. So if it comes quick, it don't always mean it's so good. Even if it comes like to money, to getting the type of girl, you know that if you get with a girl and all of a sudden the first 10 minutes she ready to give you some, I'm like, hold on.
Right. You come
You don't
quick.
even, you don't even want me to take you out on nothing. You don't want to drink. You don't want nothing. You just that
Trey
sounds
Silly.
too. It sounds too. It sounds too good, right? It's like
Right.
hold on.
Right.
So it's the same way, like he said.
Hey,
It's
hey,
too much.
if you come too quick, you come too quick. That's how I go.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, listen. I done
Hey, I
had
got
some,
mine.
I done had some
You
10
better get
second
yours.
games. I don't care. I don't care. I ain't no shame in my game. Hey, listen. Hey, listen, bro. Listen, even Jordan had a bad game. Okay, even Jordan
That's
scored.
facts,
Remember,
though. That's true.
Even Jordan had a 10 point game. He didn't score
Uh,
50 points every game, right?
That's why we need
that's
to
true.
talk about it, because guys don't know
Exactly.
that.
So
Guys don't know
shoot,
that. So we're gonna
that
talk about
don't
that.
bother me at all. Shoot, hey. But that's just how it is. So if you see it's too easy all the time, that's why it's harder to grow your own organic foods. It's harder for you to maybe
Mm,
buy chickens and then wait for them to hatch and then have your own chickens. All that takes
hmm
time. Maybe for you to make your own bread, you gotta get the flour, you gotta get the water, you gotta do all this stuff to make your own bread. But people want it easier. So if you wanted the easier route, you have to understand what's gonna come behind that easier route, and it's not always good. So that's where we at right now.
And
Yeah,
things in place, like we got the most water is the most natural, the most abundant natural resource that we have, but it's illegal for you to collect your own rainwater and
isn't that
filter out.
crazy, bro? Isn't that
Yep.
So,
crazy?
so those are the things that I be saying. Like, it's stuff in place to keep us under. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how can we not, like? You telling me if I got a bucket and it rain, well, hold on there, hold on there, and there. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, nah, bro. Like, how is this illegal?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
Every
it's
every
it's all a cycle, man. You know what I'm saying? The FDA, they call it if you realize what they say, it's called Food and Drug Administration.
Mm.
If you break
Food
it
and
into
drugs
food,
combined together.
they give you the messed up food, and then they give you the drugs to put it behind it. It's all a circle. This is what they doing every day. That's why it's called food and drug. And you can't produce any type of food unless you go through them, and you can't make your own drugs or make a company with drugs unless you go through them. It's all a cycle, and people not sitting down and realize that's what they're doing. I mean, it's the biggest money maker is food, or the bigger one is the medical field.
Drugs. Yeah.
So man, you put two and two together, man. It's just like you said, convenience. People don't look at it because it's too convenient.
Yeah, and don't bring them nothing holistic, and don't bring them no herbs or nothing, because they will shut that shit down.
Shut it down. Unless
They don't even do
way to
research
profit
around
off
it.
of
That's the crazy part. They won't even do research.
Nope.
See what they did to Seven.
I mean, you could say. I mean, we do
Nah,
that.
they know though.
But y'all remember when the COVID stuff was around, and our brother, our brother? Gosh, I keep messing his name.
The jab.
RZA, yeah. And you see, they shut him down. His videos when he was like, y'all can be able to get through this COVID if y'all use like vitamin C and zinc, and that's all you need. You saw that every time his video come up, it would be like a small box at the bottom said, "This is misinformation from the COVID-19. Don't listen." Like it was like I was like, bruh. So why are y'all trying to ban it? Somebody trying to do something natural? No, you just want them to get your drugs because you don't. Do you see it? It just people gotta wake up to certain stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy.
And from my understanding, back when we didn't have all this technology and stuff, herbs and holistic healing was the way to go. Like, even like when you go back to the Civil War or whatnot, when somebody gets shot on the battlefield, they ain't got no, Neosporin and nothing to put on that cut or that braise, and they using herbs and stuff and put it in the wound to heal it and whatnot. But somebody came along and figured like, well, we can make a lot more. We just, sell people this bullshit that's not gonna kill them, but keep them, keep them dull, just
keep it in the house, nigga.
Yeah.
And I think what it is, how it happened is these companies they don't like to waste anything. If you look at I didn't know it was pork and gummy bears. I was surprised.
And gum.
And gum, anything like kind of chewy.
Yeah.
Pause. I don't know if that's pause or not, but
it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Borderline. You close, Paul.
Yeah, I just in case to cover myself. Pause. But it got pork in it. And with these companies, these companies don't like to waste anything. So they think it's like, yo, what can I put in? Like, if I got the chicken, what can I do with the beef? Put it in hamburgers or hot dogs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do with the feathers? We're gonna put it in pillows. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they try to figure out use every single thing that they have to make money and generate money off of. And so that's the part that I think people don't realize, and I think that's how we end up getting. Because the thing I always think about is how did we get here? Like, how do we get on these drugs? How did drugs even become a thing and get pushed out? And the only thing I can think of is these companies figured out a way to mix what they know works and put a lot of BS on top of it that they didn't know the ramifications that would happen later on, and then use that to be able to, make more money and then to go out here and just push on the people. So that's my whole little thing.
Very true.
No problems, no money, man. No problems, no money for them.
Yeah, man. But we're coming up on our time to go ahead and wrap up this live and everything. Before we wrap up, anybody got any final words on this topic?
We can take it to the comments if you want.
Exactly. Let's see if we can go back and answer a few questions when it comes to these, because people are going crazy in these comments.
Yeah, it hurt me too to find out pork and the gummies, man. It was crazy.
Man, oh my goodness, y'all. Oh, that was crazy. I'm like, it's pork and gummy bears for real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do y'all know the price of cocaine? Don't answer that. I don't know either, but selling it for the price of fast food sounds like bad economics. Well, if you stretch it out, Quan.
There you go. Nigga, Leo.
Y'all better stop incriminating yourself.
I don't know nothing about that.
That ain't incriminating, bro. That's business.
It's economics.
There we go. You gotta learn distribution. I told you, everything you get from the
Hey,
streets, man,
hey,
you
Trey, you
apply
was
it to
talking about
illegal.
Trey. You was talking about that 4% human meat. The human meat is in the Oscar Mayer bologna,
Yeah.
the McDonald's meat, because that's the only restaurant that don't taste remotely like beef. And then like anything else that they just pack together, like we love hot dogs, but hot dogs that shit just pieces of flesh and shit
Mix.
packed together. You
It's
know,
just a mix.
Yeah. Now, I think Kawan was it willingness to invest. That shows your commitment. That shows the prioritization, which implies that you have set a sense of value. You will always value it more if it's not given to you. Oh, that's good. That
Them
go
is
back to our
facts.
previous topic.
Them is facts.
Yeah.
That's how all pussy.
Because I talk about giving. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I talk about giving people books, but every time I just give a person a book, they never read it. And I was one myself. I learned this from a seminar because I was like, I want as much knowledge as I could get. I was there to learn. Of course, I wanted there, but every person that ever gave me a book, I would be thankful that you gave me something, but it would sit and collect dust. But every person that recommended a book and I bought the book, I had to open it. It's a trigger for it to be an investment. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even the amount. It's like if you had to go get it, then absolutely you would value it more, and you would actually do something about it if you had to go get it versus if it's given to you. Look at the spoiled children. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can apply that to pussy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't
Uh-huh.
want no. I don't want no her. I don't want no her as pussy.
Let's see. Taj got even after they've been the one to personally ask for help, guidance, or resources. Knowledge is power, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't do anything with it. Facts. And that was to what Trey was talking about applied knowledge
Yeah.
is power. And so that's a good comment. But yeah, I think I think that's pretty much the gist of all of it. You know what I'm saying? What anybody got any like final thoughts?
That's all good, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to the lives. Catch us Friday live at 7:30, man. And bring your topics, bring your comments, and always hit that link if you want to come on and join the discussion, fellas.
Man,
Much
facts.
love.
I think we got one more. I think we got one more. We gotta show the phrase of the day and then we out.
Pumps and dump.
Let's make sure. Phrase of the day. We're gonna end it with the phrase of the day.
Hey, y'all look that up. Look it up so y'all know it's a real thing.
Man.
If y'all see anything wild come up, that's not it, yo. That's not it, all right.
No, man, no, listen, no, we gotta make sure, man. No, we gotta make sure we have the phrase of the day. That's the phrase of the day, man.
Pump and dump. Pump and dump.
Yeah, let's end it right, man. Explain to people. I'm gonna put you on Front Street. Explain to the people why you want to make sure everybody pumps and dumps, man. I want to make sure they see this on our live.
Well, first off, I was just telling people to avoid pump and dumps. That was first off. That was first off. I was like, yo, avoid the pump and dump.
That's the quick money in the stocks.
You want to avoid the pump and dump.
Yeah,
but hey, if y'all out here pumping and dumping, man, y'all do y'all thing safely out here, all right? It's just
But y'all, hey, man, it's been another one, man. We appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all on the next one, man.
All right,
Bye.
Peace.
Oh.